Hello, welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And here we are at the Strength and Swings class with our kettlebells off to the side. Week 5 of 6. Working on our two-handed kettlebell swings, getting all the way to the number 100. And the exciting thing today is we're actually going to do 100 swings. Next week, we're going to do them consecutively-ish. This week, we're going to do them in sets of 2 or 2 sets. So stay tuned for that. First, we have a body weight warm up, and then we'll get swinging.
Sounds good. It's a little cold in here, so as Lauren said, the warm up will feel nice. Start with the palms facing forward, and we'll just start with the excavator arm series, including the shoulder blades. Low effort, elevate the shoulders, and try to get those hands towards touching the out seams of your pants, and then just let the shoulder blades gently relax. Let's repeat that one more time in just this casual up effort to shrug. And in kettlebell practice, anchor down. Now keep the hands affixed at your sides if that's available for you, and round the shoulder blades next. Protraction. Then lightly set up that retraction effort in the shoulder blade, but making sure the rib cage stays down. Repeat one last time in the protraction or spread, the retraction, squeeze together. Relax a little bit, enjoy a little bit of a shakeout. First, then we'll come back to those arms, but let's get back into a hinge position. Lauren's side profile will show this one the best. Chip chop on those hips, push the hips back, and then just lightly place the hands on the quads, the knees, just so you're nice and stable here. At the head, do the extension, that's looking forward. Do a chin tuck, looking at your toes. Find your comfortable head position as you extend one more time, and then flex one last time. In between there is the most ideal position for your head in the kettlebell swing. Push your feet out, squeeze your glutes, and extend. Let's revisit that hinge position again. Place the hands on the knees. Anterior tip the hips into the cow shape or that sway back shape, and posteriorly tuck, scooping the hips under or forward. Tip your tailbone back, and that can load the hamstrings, and that is the desired position for the hips in our kettlebell swing. Push your hips out, extend the hips forward, push your feet out, extend the hips forward, and then just shake it out. Let's return to those arms here, and we'll set up with one casual elevation, but then armpits go down. Then make fists with straight elbows and bend on the wrists next. Then do our biceps curl back up. Push the pinky knuckles towards the ceiling, elevate the shoulders one last time, and then armpits depress or down. Point those elbow tips forward as imagine pulling apart a rope between your hands, and then reset the elbows to the ribs, point to the back wall initiating with your fingertips, and then the wrists extend and the elbows extend next. Now bear down on that rib cage to hips and lightly reach 2 arms behind you in shoulder extension. And then with that push-up style wrist Lauren's showing, let's make a fist, and then bend on the wrist, and bend on the bicep, and then armpits go down and the elbow tips point forward. And this time, point to the back wall. Extend those wrists next, and then squeeze the shoulder blades together as you extend out front, and nice and slowly bring the hands back down. Shake that out. Let's get to the ground, maybe using that hinge again, and let's add a little bit of variation with a single leg. So set up your hip hinge on 2 feet. Then transfer weight to one side. And now let's just take 10 seconds to slowly return that leg from the side to the back, and then extend that hip on through to tall. Open up, set up the hip hinge again, and a weight transfer. Point the other foot and reach a circle shape all the way to the back. Load up those glutes and hamstrings, and then extend on through. From here, let's move that kettlebell out to the side, hand the reins off to Lauren, but let's start with that hip hinge. Hips go back, load up hamstrings, and then break that rule, tip forward, and let's continue a little hips and lunge series there, Lauren.
All right, with our hands on the floor, we'll start with those wrists. Our wrists are very important in our get-ups as we go here. So with your shoulders out of your ears, your elbow pits screwed forward, your hands gripping the floor nice and tight. Let's keep trying to rotate those pits as much as you can to face forward. Now continue and pull on your armpits to get your shoulders towards over top of your fingertips, keeping your elbows nice and straight. Then use your fingers to press yourself back. Repeat that again. In the get up, we'll be loading up those wrists, so use all of your fingers gripping the floor and pushing the floor back. And one last time, re-straighten those elbows, pull the shoulders down, drift yourself forward, feel that load through your fingers, your calluses, your full hand, and then we'll press the floor away, extend those hips, shake out those wrists. Let's bring one leg forward into that kneeling lunge position. In that lunge position, our hips trying to maintain that level position, our back hip tucked under and our front leg gently pulling in. With that light pull in, let's get some ankle work in, sending the knee towards over the toe. And then as we come back up, keep extending that back hip. So think about keeping your hip pushing forward, and you should feel more sensation through the front of that hip as you do that. Repeat again. Drift, pulling yourself forward, but at the same time, ribs to hips, not arching that low back. So as you push back, keep squeezing the butt cheek. Let's heel toe that leg open to the side and repeat the same thing from the side. Think about those level hips, push down on that side leg, pull, starting to feel that adductor, knee goes towards over toe, but back hip remains extended. And then push into the floor, meeting up nice and tall. One last time over here, drift knee towards over toe. Press back to center, heel toe to the front. Before we get out of this lunge position, let's warm up the lunges for our get-ups here, where we'll be loaded with a weight over the top of our head. It'll be really fun. Push down in the front foot, push forward. Push down in the back foot, push back. Feel the vectors going forward, backwards, and you could hover your knee off the floor. As we're in this hover position, shoulders are over top of hips. Back hip remains extended. Soft landing. We'll push forward and back and go all the way up to that split position. Let's challenge ourselves by lifting up that front heel and then pulling ourselves back down, keeping the heel high off the floor, the hip pulling into the socket, then heel will come down. We'll do one more lunge, this time push forward and back and come up together. Take the same leg back. Let's pull ourselves down 5 seconds. Front leg pulling in, back hip pushing forward, soft landing. Bring that leg underneath, repeat the same thing on the other side. So first we found level in those hips, we tucked under the back cheek, we pushed down on the front leg and we gently pulled ourselves forward. Knee towards over toe. It might be different on this side, you might not get as far, that's okay. Keep pushing the hips forward as you come back. One last time, pull, drifting yourself forward. Still keep ribs to hips, watch the low back, squeeze the cheek as you press yourself back. Once to tally tall, heel toe the leg open. Again, check in with level, drive down on that side leg, keep the shoulders and these hips square to the front of the room. I don't know what other hips I was referring to when I said these hips, but
these hips don't lie.
They don't lie. So push down and pull. Try to get that adductor fired up, knee to toe, and then squeeze, extend to tall. Heel toe that leg back to center. We have to do the same lunge routine on this side. So push forward and back onto the floor and just hover. Check in with squareness, levelness, and then soft landing. Push forward and back, come up to that split position, hold. Now again, pull together as you bring yourself down. Try to keep that front shin as vertical-ish as possible. One more time, this time we push up together. I missed one, but that's okay. We'll do it here. Let's step back here. Let's go up to that tiptoe. I missed it on that last one, so let's do it here. We're staying up on the tiptoe of the front leg, still coming down nice and soft. Then heel will land. Whew, we'll bring that leg underneath. Let's stand up via our hinge, and then we'll get into warming up our swings. So with those hips gently pushing back, the tailbone tip to the ceiling, we'll lift the knees off the floor. Gently keep prioritizing that anterior tip in the hips or tailbone to ceiling as you walk yourself back into your hinge position. Extend your chest and your spine, and then push down into the floor. Whew, to press up to tall. As we work through these next drills, warming up our swings here, progress safely. Always refer back to your deadlifts or previous week's workouts here, and make sure you build up to these swings. No pressure to do all the reps with us today. If you want to cut down some, please feel free. What should we start with?
We'll be starting with 1 hike pass, 2 stop swings, and 3 continuous swings. We'll do that twice through. Give yourself that opportunity to check in with your load and make sure it's appropriate to manipulate for power today. So I chip chop on those hips, addressing my bell from behind, and grip and pack those shoulders. One hike pass is a pull to the groin and return. Check. Now do a unique swing, which is our stop swing. Time the breath, pack those shoulders, repeat, and again. Now 3 in a row. Hike pass out front, back to the hike pass front, and then a park, and come up barehanded. This weight feels good for me. I've been playing with this one for the last 4 weeks, and now this is that 5th week. And over the time, we've waived the loads. We've done 3s and 5s, and 5s and 8s and 10s, and today, we hope to go forward with sets of 10. That gets the heart rate going, so let's just keep it there, give it that confidence, and we can do that again. So 1 hike, 2 stop, 3 continuous swing. Breath in, hike it, park, and a stop. High tension in the planks position, and nice and quiet on the return, and 3 in a row. 1, 2, 3, and then park it and come back up. There's more swings coming your way in the neighborhood of 50, but first, some get-ups to get used to that bell again. Shake it out.
All right, we'll come down to the floor, no rules. Whether it's the same kettlebell, a different bell, or body weight, we'll be running through 4 get-ups right now.
2 each side.
Right, left, or left, right. You choose. World is your oyster. All right, come down. If you're using your kettlebell, start in that cuddle position, roll to your back, and press. Remember, a body weight get-up is also just as great. Use that hip to drive to the elbow. Find your hand squishing the bug. Bridge and sweep the leg under. We're looking at our bell, but then we'll look forward as we get into that lunge position. Think back to that warm up here, pushing the floor forward and back to stand. As we come back down, keep your back hip extended, maintaining the load overhead. Step, rotate, hinge. We're now looking at our bell as we sweep. Find our elbow, now push away from the elbow, maintaining a nice solid spine. As you pull the bell down, return it to the floor, let it go. Take a couple breaths.
Take a breath.
And switch sides.
Earlier this morning, a cue in the studio I heard from Lauren was, oh, I really liked that last week. It was that heavy elbow cue to push through the ground. Maintain that plank tension by transferring that weight to the ground. We're in the cuddle, the roll, and the press, and we'll start with our hip drive next. Hip drive to our tall sit. Bridge and sweep. We're still looking at that kettlebell. We're windmilling to a square lunge. And tall stand. Pull ourselves down the way Lauren cued in that warm-up. Rotate, look at the bell, sweep through to the tall sit, find the elbow. Now be heavy on the arm to maintain your core tension. 2 hands on, cuddle down. That's 1 done each side. Now it's time for that 2nd rep. Right away with the bell, or perhaps a body weight as Lauren suggested as well. Get the heart rate up, but it's gonna get higher from here. So check in.
From that cuddle position, we'll roll and press. Nice straight elbow on that arm, holding the bell as you work yourself up to that bridge sweep. Keeping the elbow will be challenging if you're pressed for some overhead mobility, but we'll be nice and strong. Maintaining that stacked position, we'll be able to keep the bell in that overhead position a little bit easier. Find the elbow and slowly press to that back. Take your time. So as mentioned, it's going to be harder if your overhead mobility isn't quite where it needs to be. So maybe that involves bringing the bell down into the rack position to get out of your lunge and pressing it again once you work back to the floor. Working on drills in the basics program to improve your overhead mobility.
And believe it or not, drills like that have gotten us to this point.
All right, same thing, second side.
Same thing. Cuddle, roll, press. It's the hip drive, the tall sit, the bridge, the windmill next, and square up your lunge. Tall stand. Return and pulling ourselves down. Open, windmill, sweep, elbow, heavy tension, 2 hands on. And again, as always, those pretty strict ways to get up and down with that kettlebell. Now that we're up, anyhow you can.
All right, we're getting into the meaty bit here. So our goal today is going to be to do 2 rounds of 50 swings, sets of 10 each time. we'll be going in the I go, you go. So I'll do 10 swings, Ian will do 10 swings. What that means is it means we're working at an equal work-rest ratio, 1 to 1.
That's right.
It's very fancy. So if you need more of a break than what's happening, take your time, maybe dial back the number. Anywhere around 5 might be a good idea for you. But here we go. First set of 10 continuous swings.
So that Team Laura's going for 10 swings. The feet are heavy. It's the usual cues. The hips are pushing that kettlebell out into the front or floating position. A couple more to go. Maybe you can hear that breath as well. Time that powerful exhale with that moment the kettlebell blasts itself away from the hips.
In between those sets, remember to stay loose. You're using a lot of tension swinging that kettlebell, and we want to take time in between here recovering. So it's the lats that attach the bell to our hips. Make sure those shoulders are packed and retracted. And it's this sending the bell up, not this. Not these.
Not the front raise. If you feel you can do that dumbbell front raise or similar exercise with this load, get a heavier load. It's actually safer and stronger. If it's feeling easy, check in. There's no need to go heavy with your kettlebell quite so soon, but make sure those hips are doing the right parts. And as Lauren's showing here, that's 10 quickly. Wow. Okay, that means we're going to go again.
What will help that core brace through your sets of swings here is that strong exhale. Now the important bit of that exhale is to time it so it matches your hips coming through. It's not necessarily matching the bell out front. Time it so you exhale right as the hips come through.
Right
Set
there.
3.
Set 3 of 5. It's that middle set. Things should be ticking along quite nicely. As Lauren's showing here, the form is the same. The amplitude of that bell is the same as well. Maintain nice standards in your swings, like Lauren's showing here. The breath, the abs, I can see them rippling through the shirt there, and a beautiful quiet park as well.
Biggest thing with our swings, maintaining your hinge and your breath. But keep that deep hinge on every swing. If you start to lose it, that's where you either get squatty, you get less power, not so good. If you have to dial back the number, I'd rather you do less swings with a better hinge.
That's right.
Set 4.
So what does a deep hinge look like? Well, in Lauren's hike pass position, the hallmark of that deep hinge is the kettlebell is below her butt, but above her knees. And you can see it clearly out the back if it isn't going off the screen there. Looks like a really good hinge. Again, it's the same as what Lauren started with, perhaps more fatigued, of course, but the integrity is there.
Whew. Nice breath in. Force that exhale. Shake it out in between. Other things I'm thinking about while I'm swinging is that light chin tuck, and I hope I'm doing that because I'm definitely showing my side profile. Avoiding that chicken neck coming forward and keeping the shoulders retracted. Set 5.
That's right. It's obviously the hands that are connecting that kettlebell to your body. But Lauren's touched on it already. It's that back musculature. Those armpit muscles keeping the shoulders low. Then those rhomboid muscles or the shoulder blade muscle groups there that keep it in nice and tight. Connect that load out front on your body the whole time. Shake it out when you're done. And I think this is our 5th set, right?
Yes, Team Ian. Bring us to 50
goodness.
here. From 40 to 50. This will be our last set for now. If you're recovering, shake out your forearms, shake out your biceps, shake out your chest, shake out your hips. Don't get distracted. You should be swinging.
Trying to focus here, Lauren.
Sorry. Shakira.
She's right. Stay loose.
Whew. Sorry, Shakira. It's probably an insult. We're breathing. Taking a nice big inhale. Trying to expand this part of your body as you breathe. And exhale. Your chest will raise, but try not to get those collarbones up into your cheekbones. Let's see if we can expand on both sides evenly. Sometimes I like to put my hands here and go. Inhale, fill, expand, and exhale. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, fill, expand, and exhale. And last one. And exhale. Might be a little bit out of breath as we work through the next round of get-ups. That's good. It builds some endurance. But if you need a little longer rest, please feel free.
Last week, picking up where we left off, we did get-ups, of course, And like on Thursdays, integrate the press into our practice as well. So we'll start on the ground and work our way up to a tall stand. Then pull your bell down if that's for you. Repeat 1 repetition of a press and back down. The second time through, add a rep or 2 to that. Let's focus this first set on 1 press with our get up. No rules, but maybe a no-handed pistol squat inspired down. Cuddle it. And do I have to catch my breath, or are you gonna call it out?
We'll roll to our back and we'll press that bell. So as we go, we're making our way to the top position of our get up, which is that standing overhead position. If you're not feeling the press today, maybe you just hold that kettlebell in the time we do our press. Either stay or pull down your bell. Then press it back overhead and then complete that get up back down. Lunge, step, rotate, hinge, sweep. Elbow stays down, shoulder stays out of your ear as you press off the elbow to come to the floor.
Nice.
Let that go. Turn yourself around and we'll repeat that same routine on the second side.
Start with that cuddle. Take a big breath in and roll your back with a press. Then from there, it's that hip drive. Look at that kettlebell throughout now. Bridge, sweep a leg, but now look on the horizon, square up your lunge, tall stand, pull down with control, and up, full tension up. Repeat ourselves, pulling down. Then the windmill, and look at the kettlebell. Push through that sweep, find the elbow, heavy tension to maintain the plank. 2 hands, cuddle it down. We'll do that 1 more time. And what's your goal for presses, Lauren?
So either you keep the number 0. That was the debate last week, is 0 a number? Please comment.
Philosophy 101.
Or comment on kettlebells, it's easier. Number 2, press it once again, or try pressing it twice this time. Whatever's for you. We'll start in the cuddle, roll to it back. 2, I'll try for 2 presses, okay? I might make some funny faces during these presses as I need a lot of tension to press this bell. We'll get ourselves to standing and we'll go for inhale, pull down. 1, repeat again. Inhale, pull down. 2, and then we'll do our lunge. Back down, rotating around, sweeping, elbow, and control to the back. Noticing we might be a little bit more tired, but we're not rushing that get up. So take your time through it. More time under tension. Makes it harder, but that means it makes you stronger.
That's right. Packing the shoulder. Aiming for those 2 presses on this side as well. It's a hip drive to the tall sit, a bridge and sweep, and press through. Square up the lunge, stand tall, breath in on the down, press up, repeat, pull down, press up, pull yourself down in the lunge, windmill looking at the bell. Find the floor, sweep the leg, find the elbow to your back. 2 hands, cuddle, bring it down. We'll come on up, maybe that no-handed version. And now, part 1 was 50 swings. Now we're ready for that part 2.
So already in week 5, we're hitting that 100 swings. Great job if you've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
Great job if you're just here now. It's all just great. So we're practicing our sets of 10 again for 5 rounds. Maybe Team Ian wants to go first.
That sounds good.
So go ahead.
I feel confident with that number of 10 for me as members of this team. Ian, how about you? Stick to your numbers, that's fair and fun. If you do 5, it just means you get a little more rest to critique your swing and build your best swing today for the next time you use it.
Today is the day.
And
all right, Team Ian.
But we're here. Lauren's gonna keep us honest, 10 reps.
First set for Team Ian, 10 swings. Remember all of the things we worked on the last couple weeks, as well as the last set of 50. It was keeping the hinge. It was reaching that bell back behind you every time. And it was that chop in the hips and chop in the butt abs that you're thinking about at the top of each swing. 10, here we go.
10 swings. That height is that chest height. The armpits again are locking that load down. You can hear Lauren's breath effort. It's that exhale when the hips are just about to blast that kettlebell away. The feet, they're open and they're wide. What is your favorite stance?
Take your time. Had a little breath. So one good drill you could do at home here is, despite the height difference between Ian and I don't know if you've noticed it, our timing is still fairly the same when we swing together. So if you're not sure about your timing of this drill, try to match us as we're swinging here, doing the same hip drive through. That means you're keeping your hinge. That means you're keeping your hips using. It'll help. Here we go.
That's right. If you're doing a deadlift exercise with us here, that's a little bit slower. But if you're kind of in between those beginner deadlifts and integrating the hinge, a good old-fashioned chop and pop, chop and pop. Body weight hinge here will help you maybe find that timing you need to make that transition from a deadlift to a swing. Set 3.
If you're noticing that when you put the bell down, you end up tipping forward, or it's a harder landing on the floor, the likelihood is you've lost your hinge a little bit and you've started to become more in that upright hinge, a little less deep, a little more here, a little less here. Load it up, slingshot the hips.
My legs might not make that same awesome sound, but that's right. Maintain the integrity of the hinge. You want to avoid those knee bends or the squatting action in your swing. It's kind of hitting me here, working that heart rate, so slow it down if you're with me, resting. Nice exhale. And if you're with Lauren, you get to do the same now. Set 4.
I think it's set 3.
Darn it.
Yeah, pretty sure. If it's not my fault, we get to do an extra set, but I'm pretty sure it's 3. Because I talked about, yeah. And now, I don't know what to talk about because I spent the whole halftime thinking about what set it is.
Hopefully 10 reps doesn't make or break that difference today. If it does, be sensible about it and quit while you're ahead. If you do want to finish, you can do this again. Even though it does maybe have 2 more sets. Breathe in. We're working hard today. As Lauren said, thanks for being with us weeks 1 to 5. Can't wait for week 6. But right now, focus on these 10 sets.
2 more sets. We're off. We're shaking it out. We're breathing. Can you stay loose in your quads? Whoa. Can you stay loose in your butt? Can you stay loose in your arms? Relax that tension. Ankles, floppy fish. Floppy fish. Maybe not if you're team Ian.
Attention to that team 1. And we can also try some floppy fish. Shaking wrists and slow down breathing. Chin, heart, saying, whoa, what are you doing? Give it that confidence, it's okay to be there, and rein in that controlled breath to say,
I think you mean it, Sane. Thank you.
oh,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, as long as it is. If it's not, take a break. Set 5/10. 10 by 10 here today. Coming up to your 100 swings. How are you feeling? No problem. You were wrong. This is actually an extra set, but that's okay. I don't think it was.
I think it was.
I don't think it was.
The tail of the tape will tell us that's not the most important thing.
Throw the replay, Frag.
That's right. But that's not the most important part, like you might check the historical reps here. You might look back and say, wow, that's what they're talking about hip hinge, or wow, you're going striking left now. Check in with your swing, and these techniques will make it harder, of course, to make it safe and sustainable so that you can always stay strong, even as you recover.
All right.
Hand on the heart maybe, hand on the belly, or we're going high, just the side abs right here. Close the mouth, breathe in through the nose, and own that exhale. Repeat again. Perhaps 4 seconds in, up to 4 seconds out, and again. Let's take 3 more big breaths like that together. Slow exhale. Maybe a little shaking wiggle with the legs feels good too. Breath in.
You have to do breath earlier. You can't talk at the end. Exhale. Inhale for 4.
1 more.
Exhale.
You're laughing, so it's okay. Mm-hmm. We got it.
All right.
We did it.
We did it. So that was week 5 of 6 for our 100 swings. Next week, we will put all those 100 together in one go, just 1 to 100. No, I'm totally kidding. Never do that. We'll do it over sets of 10, and we'll probably keep that I go, you go. So stay tuned for that. If you want a little more practice before then, maybe repeat this workout on Thursday, Friday, or sometimes later this week, or join us Thursday where we switch sides of the room and work on our hip mobility with inspiration from the ballet, but that doesn't mean you need to know how to do the ballet. And presses, so we'll work on that overhead mobility. And then Saturday, we put it all to the test with our whole body weight and some curls and handstands. Until then, check out our website, join our newsletter, like and subscribe on YouTube, check out our Patreon, and take care.
Stay strong.
And we'll train soon.
Have a good afternoon.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, my hammies.